This podcast shines light on strong and talented women who excel and persevere in life while bathing in abundant self-love. So if you're ready to keep it real, level up in all your inner work, creative business, and community impact, then you've come to the right place because we provide you with content that helps your soul glow and your mind grow. Thank you for pressing play. Let's dive in.
Oh, hey, fancy seeing you here. I'm your host, Madelyn Steurer, and I'm so glad to have your unique perspective tuning in today. I'm on a mission to discover what it means to be a woman, unapologetically, no filter needed. In a world where 7 in 10 girls believe they're not good enough, I've created this space to inspire women to live in alignment with their true purpose in life. The important questions have gotten lost in a media-distracted world. But it's time for us to choose collaboration over competition and dig deep into our unique purpose, passion, and identity as women so we can choose to perform at our peak mental state with radical integrity. If you're ready to shatter glass ceilings and show up as the leader and champion you were made to be, then grab your notebook and let's make the change today. You were made for such a time as this. Hey, as you've heard in the introduction to this podcast, 7 in 10 girls believe they're not good enough. And that comes from the Dove self-esteem campaign, which I discovered back in 2017. And I just wonder, why is that? Why, in this crazy media distracted world, why do we rely so much on our image? Why do we care so much about what other people think of us? Well, truly, it's because we have no choice. When you put yourself out there day in and day out on social media with people commenting all the time about, how your hair looks one day, or you kind of seem like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, like cheer up. People have no idea what's going on behind the scenes in your life. And that's really why I wanted to create this podcast. There are so many women who are absolutely shattering glass ceilings, but just like me, or probably just like you listening to this podcast, they've had some kind of imposter syndrome at some point in their life. No matter how successful they might look on the outside, no matter how much it appears at work that they are joyful and cheerful, they're probably feeling struggles. They probably, think about comparing themselves to other people all the time. No matter how many accolades that they have, how many awards that they've won in their life, they probably still struggle with comparison. But just like me, I struggle with comparison, but I hope for a better future. And I want to show other women how to gain the confidence that I've honestly had to gain through everything that I've done through life to get me to this point. And while I am only 24 years old, I'm very blessed to say that I have lived such a beautiful and fulfilling life so far. If you don't know me personally, I'm a graduate of the University of Notre Dame. I received my bachelor's in marketing and French and Italian. I absolutely adore languages. I think that is the key to opening up, a world of opportunity and discovery as you travel. I'm currently finishing up my master's there right now. I'll be pursuing my PhD. That alone is huge, to say that I've been so blessed to have this education and meet so many scholars. But I've also had amazing success in a professional career in the arts, in acting and singing, and I hope to still chase those things. But obviously, these industries have a lot of comparison. And not only that, but I've been involved in pageantry, And I'm currently Miss Indiana Volunteer in a brand new pageant organization called the Miss Volunteer America organization, which has been integral in gaining scholarships for university. And through this, I've really had to learn, you have to take constructive criticism. There will be times when you feel like you're not the most beautiful person in the room. You're definitely not the most intelligent. And sometimes you might even think, am I good enough? I think that quite often. But I have built resilience, and I want to talk to you today about how I've done that, some highs and some lows, and maybe give some takeaways that you can also use in your journey towards building that mindset of a woman who shatters glass ceilings and is a champion in her radical integrity and being absolutely authentically herself. I really want to focus on this obsession with media and some of the negative consequences of those. So at the beginning, in my introduction, I give that stat of 7 in 10 girls believe that they're not good enough, and I still cannot believe that to this day. But the Dove Global Beauty and Confidence Report, they interviewed 10,500 women and girls, and this was across 13 countries. Again, I want to emphasize this was women and girls, not just young girls, women. And they proved these figures. More than 2/3 of women and girls say that increasing pressures from advertising and media to reach an unrealistic standard of beauty is the key force in driving their appearance anxiety. We are literally living in such a crisis of self-doubt. I mean, what does this look like, right? This looks like 6 in 10 women believing social media pressures them to look a certain way. And that leads to 8 in 10 girls opting out of important life activities, like engaging with friends and loved ones. And better yet, 97% of girls admit to hating on themselves. 97%. So how productive is that? If you wake up in the morning and you start your day and you look in the mirror and the first thing you say to yourself is like, wow, I look rough. Or, oh my gosh, I need a lip job. Like, I wish my lips were so big. Or, oh man, I wish I was tan. I look so pale right now. I can't walk out like this in the winter. I just look so terrible. Or even worse, I wish I looked like that girl. I wish I looked like Kendall Jenner. I wish I looked like insert name here. It could be one of your friends. It could be a celebrity. It could be someone you literally saw on the street once and don't even know who they are. I mean, it's terrifying. It's disturbing how we think. But I believe that you have the power to change that mindset and absolutely transform your brain into a muscle that functions for you rather than against you. And that's why I created this podcast, because I have the intention of interviewing some women who I just think their soul, like when you talk to these women, their soul just absolutely bleeds beauty and grace and light. And just being around that kind of person can inspire you to step into your own power. Sometimes we need examples to be able to understand what our own potential is. I mean, sometimes you might even need to scroll through social media. And what I like to do personally, this is my first tip for you, is clean out your social media. Do a complete detox of your social media. If you do only one thing today after listening to this podcast, detox your social media of accounts that aren't serving your mind. If they are tearing you down and making you think that you are less of a person, unfollow them. Or, maybe it's a person that you're very close to. It could be one of your very best friends. And you could be at a point in your life where you're really struggling with owning your self-worth. And maybe your self-love just isn't there right now. And sometimes we can feel like that. If that is starting to come out through a close relationship that you have with someone, and you're constantly comparing yourself to them, there is an option to mute that person on social media. And that doesn't make you weak. It makes you incredibly strong. Because then you can step back and you can take that time to think about, okay, how can I train my mind to see that person as a completely unique, beautiful individual that, yes, you can look at them and acknowledge how beautiful, how brilliant, how successful they are, but then also acknowledge that that doesn't dim your light. Okay? So, detoxing your social media, and then what I want you to do is follow motivational speakers, follow pages about your passions in life. If you love music, follow a music page. If you love reading, maybe follow some, social media accounts that talk about books, or even better, like a book club or something. Like, follow things that are going to feed your mind. And don't get stuck in the endless scroll. Because what it's appearing to me is that social media is one of the main things that makes women feel a certain negative way about themselves. But social media should be a tool for you to build yourself up and for you to share information with other people that builds them up too, right? Like, this whole purpose of this podcast is for you to build yourself up so strong that nobody can tear you down, and that you are able to take what you have inside of you and fill up another person's cup. Just pour from yourself, pour energy, pour light, pour even sensitivity and a listening ear, like anything that is positive that you could possibly give away, that first you already have for yourself. That is the purpose of this. It's not to say, oh, I'm so confident, like I love myself, and look how many things I've accomplished, and look how great I feel. That's fantastic. But if there's someone near you that you could pour into, that is what's fulfilling in life, right? I mean, this podcast is going to be about love. Love as our first facet. Radical integrity. I mean, it's called #NoFilter for a purpose. We are talking about the highs, but we are talking about the lowest of the lows as well. We might look confident on the outside, but I swear there has to be some kind of hurdles that you have gone through in life that has completely broken you down, but that has transformed you into the woman that you are today. And maybe you're not the person that you want to be yet, and that is perfectly fine. I could not stand here and say that I am exactly the person that I want to be on my last day of life. I'm a work in progress, and so are you. But that is beautiful because you're living your life with authenticity and absolute, unfathomable generosity for other people. that is beauty. And so this podcast is going to be about collaborating with each other. If you have ideas, send them in. If you want to be in on these conversations, please send me an email, shoot me a DM. I will be so excited to talk to you about what makes you a unique individual and how you are living your life unapologetically, right? All I ask of you is that you create a safe space, you show up as a leader, you set positive social norms so that we can build a community. Because I'm telling you, women aren't going to get ahead if we keep holding each other back. There's a gender wage gap for a reason still. And I believe it's because there's still more competition in the workplace than there is collaboration, and that needs to change. And this is the space for it. We can't change things if we aren't having conversation about it and we aren't opening up and absolutely being unapologetic about the way that we feel. So, my challenge for you is take a deep breath, detox that media, create a space where you are seeing things that are motivating you, things that are bringing you positivity, and we're going to build that muscle. We're going to build your mind to the point where you are able to look anything in the face and say, fantastic, okay? If that is something that I used to feel uncomfortable about, but you know what? I'm uniquely me. And that's what matters, is if I am staying true to myself, I'm beautiful the way that I was created, that person can be beautiful too. Let's make an army. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this was enough of a pep talk to get you fired up and get you in that mindset for just clearing the space for yourself, creating that opportunity for inspiration. And I can't wait to talk to you again and invite some incredible guests onto this podcast who are truly in alignment with their purpose in life, and that I hope will be able to inspire you to be, do, and say exactly the things that you are. Have an awesome day.
Hi everyone, hope you liked that episode. We are all about preaching self-love and empowering women and girls around the world. Support us in our journey as we provide art supplies and many more resources to girls in Ghana through our two programs, the Fly Girl Initiative and Little Artists. We are also working on hosting more Color for a Cause events, as well as our No Filter school tours. Your help will enable this organization to work on bettering the lives of people around the world. For more information, visit our website www.stukdesigns.org.